Hey, welcome to In the Studio with Stephen Leake. It's September 30th, I think. Uh, haven't done this show in a while. I've been doing a lot of other stuff. Been busy. Been keeping busy, man. uh, it's been wild. I've been having a blast, to be honest. This is I kind of take my time a little bit more in this particular show. Do more of like a songwriting kind of deal here. Um, but like I've only been doing this really since March, and man, it's been amazing. I kind of wish I'd done it sooner, to be honest. Like I don't spend that much money either. I only spend a couple $100 a month, and I've got like just so much creative output happening right now. And I have my doctors to thank for that, my therapist. Recovery is possible. We do get better, whether that's recovery from addiction, mental illness, whatever it may be. We can recover from trauma, from psychological illnesses, just maladaptive stuff. We do get better. There's hope. You know what I mean? If you're stuck with something, it doesn't mean you be stuck with it forever. There are ways to heal, there are ways to get through it. And if you're stuck somewhere, man, my door is always open. My email is steve@monarchliterary.com. If you're, I've been active in the recovery community for a long time, for like 15 years. And I've sponsored people before. Not everybody is comfortable with being out, as they say, in the program. But I figure, I'm already kind of a public figure. I'm an artist, growing in popularity, so I'm going to use that to help people. I get these bracelets at my methadone clinic. They're like the best human beings I see on a regular basis. The people that work there and the clients. It's such a distillation of humanity to see people in a vulnerable position, then to be treated with compassion, to be treated as human when they are, like I said, in a very vulnerable position. They are done, but there are professionals who take care of them. I have nothing but good things to say about the clinic in Rock Hill. They respect me. They treat me like a proper person. It's not always the case in recovery. A lot of people, it's hard dealing with addiction. It's such a devastating thing. It takes people over, and people get burnt out dealing with it. And you can perfectly understandable how people who are in that as a profession for too long can get burnt out and just kind of become a robot, But it's been my experience in Rock Hill, at Rock Hill Treatment Specialists. I have nothing but good things to say. I actually look forward to going and be around those people 3 times a week. It's been a positive experience for me. I really needed that because the reason I had gone back, I'd been on Suboxone, and I was doing fine. I'd been on that for years and years and years. I just got to a point where I was doing okay, but I was just in a lot of pain, a lot of emotional and psychological distress, while I was like processing certain things that had been kind of trauma from a long time ago. But it was just bubbling to the surface that I'd been dealing with, processing with my therapist. And that stuff can be dangerous, dealing with stuff that's been buried. I mean, you're dealing with like very heavy things. And it was just a lot. It was causing me a lot of distress, a lot of pain. And psychological pain is no different than physical pain. It's just generated from a different part of the body, and it was painful. I couldn't hardly function. I was in such pain, and so I was like, look, I've got to do something. I can't just be in agony all the time. So I went. I discontinued my Suboxone. I tapered off. I went to seek something a little bit more stronger, methadone. And I'm glad it's there. My parents are not happy with it. I understand that it's with Suboxone you have a kind of built-in protection against overdose. What it does is it's a partial agonist, which means it doesn't have the same exact effect chemically, and it has such an affinity for the opioid receptor that it binds so strongly that it prevents an overdose beyond a certain point. You won't die from Suboxone. However, methadone, however, is a totally different story. It's a full agonist. It's dangerous as hell, and you'd only ever do that if there's no other choice. That's where I am. But I'm also, because I'm not in such pain anymore, I'm experiencing the greatest creative flourish of my life right now. I'm knocking it out of the park almost every single day, and I barely sleep because I'm getting so much done. And it's almost overwhelming, to be honest, the amount of creative force I'm experiencing, the amount of pure inspiration that I'm getting right now. I feel super blessed just to be able to experience it. My parents provide me such a support system. I get this place. I don't have anybody. I don't have any obligations outside of myself. I don't have any debt. I don't have to work unless I want to, and it's because I'm on disability from a previous illness. This doesn't really anything to do with addiction or recovery, but it's provided me an opportunity to have the time to work on myself, and that's what I tell people. Time. That's my secret. That's how I've gotten able to do what I do. I've had time to sit around and do nothing, and figure myself out, figure what I wanted to do out, to work on myself, to build, to string a bunch of good days together, and then good weeks together, and then good months, and so forth. And I've had time to work on myself, to put the work in that was necessary to get to a better place. Because I was sleeping like 15 hours a day before, not 6 years ago. Right before the pandemic, I was living with a woman here, this very place. And she was a wonderful woman. She was brilliant, and she treated me real well. But I was not in a good place. And it was not a healthy environment for somebody trying to take care of me and then also have a career and trying to have a normal life. I'm not really a normal person. I never have been, so it was kind of too much to ask of someone to babysit me in the shape I was in. But she did do me a solid. She found me the right doctors that were willing to put in the extra work to get me to a better place. Because of her efforts in helping me, that's where I'm today able to do this. It's because of Amanda Moberg that I can do this. She's a godsend, literally. She saved my life by finding these doctors for me. And she broke up with me and ripped my heart out. But it was perfectly understandable because I was barely functioning. Well, I wasn't functioning. I was sleeping all day. Didn't get out of bed, didn't shower. Just was a mess. Terrible. It was kind of just a clusterfuck of learned helplessness and debilitating depression and substance abuse. Horrible situation. She was voluntarily sticking it out with me, and I felt shitty that she was there trying to help me. And that's kind of the compounding shame and guilt that goes along with these constellations of illnesses, of these psychological conditions, these and the physical addiction of substances. It's a constellation, like I said, of conditions, and So she found me the correct doctors that were willing to work with me. It was a ton of work. It took years. But slowly and surely I got better. I built upon my previous success. Slowly over time, I started building positive momentum towards a healthier existence. Until I did that over a period of years, I started writing again. Up until that point, it had been like 5 years since I'd written anything. I'd pretty much given up on ever being any kind of serious writer or artist. And I wrote my book, Gethsemane, based off of the kind of emotional shock of her leaving me. That provided the impetus and the catalyst for me to get off my ass and write a book. That would have never happened without Amanda Moberg. I would never have had my book. I would never had Gethsemane. That's my masterpiece. It's a decent book. I wouldn't have had that, and I wouldn't have ever gotten better. I've never had these albums out. I've never become a folk musician without Amanda Moberg breaking up with me, finding me good doctors, providing me the impetus and the catalyst I needed to change. She always made it clear she cared about me. It was never a cruel thing, her leaving me. It was survival on her part. I always understood that. So even she was compassionate even when she couldn't stay with me. She's a wonderful human being. I'll never forget her. Okay. Now, the reason I say this, support systems are so important. I've done some live streams recently, and from the Huddle House, from my restaurant. That's my diner, and the people there, a lot of them are in recovery themselves, and there's something about having a community, and I'm starting to find that now, and it's a wonderful feeling. I never had kids, and was really married. The woman I'm talking about, Amanda Moberg, was closest to a wife as I've ever had. But I was on disability, and I was having disability that kicked in when I was a minor. It made it such that my disability is on my parents' work record, and so I can't get married without losing my benefits. It would have to be completely restructured. I have to apply all over again as an adult on my own work record. But then I would have to work for at least 5 years. It's a whole fucking clusterfuck. It would have to happen. But anyway, so this woman was godsend. Got me the help I needed. Got me healthy. Provided the catalyst for me to get off my ass and help myself finally. My books would never have been written without her. My music would have never gotten recorded. But at the same time, I did the work. She provided the catalyst, yes, but I did the work. And you can't, one of the things, I guess, is recognizing the opportunity when it bites you in the ass. I was sitting here in this very place that I now call Sovereign Sound Studio. And let's see. I didn't really have anything. I was like 30. Didn't know what I was going to do. I just kind of been drifting along. I had been a decent poet, but I hadn't written anything in years, and life seemed to be I just seemed to be going through the motions and just surviving. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to, I made a decision, like they tell you in any 12-step program. You have to make a active decision to chase down getting better, and you have to make that your priority. I put the necessary work in to get better. I worked with my therapist over a period of years, my psychiatrist, and I did the work and I got better. It happened for me. It was only by the grace of God too. It wasn't just me doing anything. It was barely. I didn't hardly do anything compared to It's almost divine intervention. My therapist himself said that my recovery was borderline miraculous because I was in terrible shape. And for me to be now writing books and putting out records, coming up, coding apps, and developing brand new concepts is just unheard of kind of stuff. I have only God to thank for that. That's not me doing anything. It's my higher power. Somebody loves the shit out of me upstairs. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what I ever did to deserve all that love and all that, elbow grease. It seemed to be baked into the universe. But, I've started to pray to align my will with that of my higher powers. I kind of started to be able to see what God intended for me. And I just kind of positioned myself to go with the current instead of fighting it. And then my therapist gave me a piece of advice I'll never forget, and it sounds very trite. It sounds like kind of pop psychology, just nonsense. But for whatever reason, it spoke to me. And he said, "Let your light shine." And for some reason, that just hit me like a ton of bricks, like a burning bush moment almost. And then later, several years later, I went to my methadone clinic, and they always give out like inspirational like swag, and they gave me this blue silicone bracelet and said, "Let your light shine" on it. For some reason, it just struck me. It's like the most serendipitous kind of synchronicity kind of a thing. And for whatever reason, that was kind of like the wink from the universe that I needed to know that I was okay. I was where I was supposed to be. And it was I take those things as signs almost, where I was where I needed to be in that exact moment. Okay, and it's a very good feeling. It's reassurance from the universe, from God, whatever you want to call it. And that's where I am today. I'm in a creative flourish such as I've never experienced before. I'm having a blast. I'm having so much fun creating and building things. My family is doing well. My mother is up in Boston with her favorite person, my aunt, and they're getting a chance to go on an adventure. And my mom never really got a chance to do much of that, and she's now in her retirement, in her golden years of getting able to do that. She's found her calling, getting involved in church, and as a new grandmother. My sister had a baby, Daphne, and I'm going to get to see that kid grow up. She might even get to grow up in a positive America. It's even more free and sovereign than it's been in 100 years. There's so many good things happening, and I know the world seems crazy and chaotic. But there's lots of the good things coming through it, coming from out of it, and we just have to start. We just have to actively build. And the fallacy of the communists. They're focused on fighting the system. They're going to fight the man. They're going to dismantle the system. You're never going to do that. It's such powerful. You're talking about an empire. I mean, it's just absurd to think that you're going to defeat that in any real way. Which the only way to affect change, you have to build new systems, and then you make to such that you make the old ways obsolete. That's what I'm doing with my Monarch X app, with this program I'm coding, with the DAO hybrid legal framework I've got, the systems I've built, the platforms. We're building a new way of doing things that's completely outside the purview of the previous power structure. That's how you affect change. That's how a smart person goes about that. You don't burn shit down. You don't rally and fight the man where the man is most powerful. That's silly. That tells me that the communists aren't really truly concerned about making anything better. They're just plenty happy to be used by the power structure. That's what's happening. It's the same empire that they're supposedly fighting against that is using them to do that. And it's obvious. Okay. And I'm now in such a position where I can do what I've always wanted to do, which is just be useful and be helpful to my society, to my hometown, to my community, to my country. I can be the cheerleader for this great nation I've always wanted to be, by creating art, by creating new systems, new concepts, and new music. I can be a part of the culture. I can help people. I can inspire people with my story. And it's not anything I would have imagined doing as an 18-year-old kid. But it's even better. And that's always how God seems to work. It's never going to be what you think it is, but it's going to be so much better. And it's just strengthened my faith so much. It's almost I don't even almost really at this point consider it faith, because I know for a fact, because I have direct experience with it. I interact with this kind of this cosmic entity, with this spiritual other, with this divine thing. It's such a wholesome, positive, overwhelming feeling of being loved. I can't not talk about it. It's such a unique experience, one that's overwhelmingly positive. It's kind of like you have these moments where you feel like the universe just conspired and everything in your life worked out exactly how it was supposed to go, for you to be in this moment right now and sit here speaking these words and hearing and smoking this cigarette and with this guitar, this specific guitar. It's a Grand. I've never heard of that brand, but you are meant to be with that guitar. You're meant to call it Sophia for a reason. You're supposed to be wearing this particular shirt, burning this particular incense, and that's just how it is. It's an amazing realization to have. And the ideology that says that human beings are nothing, and that it's all just random chance and materialism. It just sprung out from nothing, and it means nothing. It's just kind of complete nihilistic garbage. It's so unique. It's so pro-human. It's just glorious as all hell. And I cannot stop talking about how wonderful it is and how positive it is. I think Jung, the psychotherapist, philosopher, talks about how what Christ did, and the faith that comes with that. Is so glorious. It's almost incomprehensible what it really is in reality. And all major religions have said the same thing. They've all talked about human beings being kind of existing in a plane, being acted upon by entities, gods, whatever you want to call it, aliens, whatever, demons. I think they're all jinn. They were talking about the same thing, the same phenomenon. It's quantum physics is proving this spiritual phenomenon is real and exists. And it's just like any other mathematical or scientific phenomenon, like gravity or centrifugal force, anything like that. It's a mathematical, scientific phenomenon. This is just a byproduct of this universe and the physics of this universe. That's my opinion anyway. That's how I would frame that. But anyway, thanks for indulging me, letting me go on a little metaphysical rant there. I needed to do that. I had to thank somebody for what I've been experiencing these past few months. It's been wonderful. I've gotten so much personal glory from building new things. People have shown me just so much support and love. It's wild, man. It's just absolutely wild. Because compared to where I was 5-6 years ago, somebody loves me. That's all I can say. Again, like somebody loves me to death and wants me to be happy and fulfilled. And it's working. Whatever the universe is doing, I feel extremely loved and unique and uniquely so. So without further ado, I'm gonna play Spring, and I'm gonna be playing with some things. I might play it a couple times. I'm gonna be as emotive as I possibly can with this particular version of it. And we're gonna work on that. I'm gonna try to be as emotive as possible, because I was watching a clip of my morning jams on the porch. When I play Spring, particularly that song, I feel like it's just huge and emotional. Really, when I watch it, it's like, okay, I see where it could be that, but it's not coming across quite as intense. So I'm gonna be tinkering with that today. I'm gonna try to see if I can get even more expressive, even more emotional with that song. Trying to get across kind of a wholesome, nostalgic hope. just kind of an ache almost. It's so positive and good. Anyway, let's play some music. Make that happen. Thank you so much for being here. I mean, it wouldn't be possible without the people giving me support and the just the outpouring of love I get from just random people on the internet, man. To be honest, you know, I was on some random site the other day, and there was just not really hardly much of any way that would identify me as Stephen Leake. I had somebody just pop up on my chat. Are you Stephen Leake? I say, yeah, man. What's up? I just love your stuff, man. I'm a big fan. I've been watching since the beginning. Shit like that. Just out of nowhere, randomly, on some random site. And it was just like the most positive shit. I mean, that made my day. It made my month. And I was like, dude, please let me get you a T-shirt. I mean, you just made my day. And if you can make me that happy, I need to do something for you. Right? Okay. Anyway. Let's play some music, man. Enough talk. This is like my therapy, but I think it's entertaining also, so it works both ways. We're going to start out with spring. I think I'm going to keep Sophia. I would love to have a $1,000 Takamine, but, you know, I'm not so good at guitar with it that it really matters. I think it's better, at least for right now, if I keep Sophia. I'm more about loyalty than I am perfect sound. Even to things. Even to things. Sometimes the principle of things is more important than the other aspects. Okay. Here. Dogs playing in the yard. Talk with my dad on the porch. There's hummingbirds. Supposed to feed her. Here. My mom calls from the kitchen. My sister comes with a new baby on the road from Charleston. Baseball at dusk. Still have so much to look forward to. New beginnings, new life. I thank God I'm alive to see it. Spring is here. My cousin is cutting grass. We exist to build each other up in the cycles of growth. hummingbirds buzz the feeder. Spring is here. My mom calls from the kitchen. Baby on the road from Charleston. Spring is here. Kids playing baseball at dusk. We still have so much to look forward to. New beginnings. God, I'm alive to see it. Spring is here. That's so much fun to play, y'all. Thank you for letting me do that. You know, if I could have my way, I'd just let people come hang out with me all day, play music, get drunk, have a grand old time. Let's see. I'm gonna work on cinnamon hearts and stuff like that. That particular chord progression. I haven't done that hardly at all in a while. Let's see if I can find it. Here somewhere, I'm missing it. American Gangster and Knock Chomp. That's Knock Chomp, but that's it. Okay, here we go. Knock Chomp could be a great song. I just need to tinker with it a little bit. I'll put it down here. It's a weird setup looking at that extreme of an angle. Okay. We're going to drink. I'll be right back. Alright, let's jam. Knock Chomp up. being can't see that. Can't see that far away. Let's try it again. That's what I'm doing this for. We can start over. Have time to do it right. Okay. All right. Now jump up. Feminine nothingness. From thrown into being. Explosion of life. And waves of gratitude. A chance to breathe and think. To pitch around and chain smoke. Soul. Now chemical transformation of pain into joy. I exist. An island in the void. Nothingness. I need no other. Sit still and be content. My night trumpet burning by my bed. Good shit. The conversation, the best minds of history. And keeping me company. Let's journey to the end of night. Victory. Seeing a new day. I exist on an island in the void. Surrounded by an empty void. The feminine nothingness. I'm looking for my muse. That cosmic other. Fields of agony. Alien dreamscapes to the ends of the earth. the still of night. Jump from the bed to nirvana. In manic sessions of intimate lust. That was fun, y'all. Thanks. Let's take a break. You know, I once had a conversation with my roommates in Charleston a while back, about 10 years ago now. The one I wrote my book Gethsemane about. His name was Mike. He would be Jack in the book. We were talking about the cosmic other, the concept of like you have a perfect kind of binary opposite. It's like a female soulmate. That's like kind of the yin to your yang. You know what I'm saying? The cosmic other, and like we kind of talked about this concept for a long time, and it was kind of a really interesting conversation. One I'll never forget about this idea that like you keep meeting this person, this kind of entity, but it's you meet it through every female that you meet, you fall in love with. It's like the same manifestation of this cosmic other, this perfect soulmate. That each of these women is going to be kind of a piece of that, and it's going to be like, and this cosmic other is a composite of all of these women, like combined, and that's still just going to be a piece of that whole being, which you're going to keep running into over and over throughout lifetimes, throughout eternity, as you like dancing with this perfect goddess being, this entity, the universe is a it's kind of like the universe itself in the form, and they personified as a woman, as a goddess being that you keep running into, you keep sleeping with, you keep talking to, and you keep having fights with, and you keep lifetime after lifetime. You build empires with this thing, with this woman, with this goddess and entity, with these groups of women. They would be manifested in your best friends and in your family, and you just be constantly interacting with it. It would be developing. It would be dynamic. It's a beautiful idea. I don't know how real that would be, or how grounded in reality that could be. It's an interesting concept. It's an interesting thing to think about. And it's something I want to explore a little bit more in my novel once I get around to writing the second draft. I don't think this lighting is very flattering. Let's try that. It's a little bit more natural, I think. I'm going to give my arm a little rest because that was quite a workout. Then we're going to do either American Gangster or One Fine Day. I just want to take the opportunity to, if I had any ounce of the intellectual rigor that I used to have, I would read Theory of Games and Economic Behavior, and I'd just study this and give it my best. But it's just so dense and mathematical. I would love to be able to read it. I just can't. It's too complicated for me. I don't have the background for it. But it's interesting. I know this book is important, and I wish I could understand it. I wish I had the language and the education to understand it. I just don't. That's why I'm a creative writer and I'm an artist. It's way too technical for me. I would not be able to code if it wasn't for AI. I'll just tell you that right now. I apply concepts. I'm good at applying general concepts. I'm a generalist. If AI wasn't a thing, I wouldn't be able to do half the shit I do, which is just be able to use language to apply concepts, and to tell a prompt what to do. This is Unplugged. It's my unpublished novel that I wrote in high school. I don't know how many guys can say that they wrote a book in high school. My stupid ass did. I failed English because of it. Because I was too busy writing a book to do schoolwork. But it makes me happy. I'm like the happiest kid in class right now. If I can just kind of emote to you for a second how like blessed I feel, how thoroughly in touch with the universe I feel, how like blessed and gifted. Just like, it's just crazy, man. I swear to God, it's like it feels like I'm not saying that's what reality, that's what's happening. It just certainly feels like God concocted the universe just to show He loved me personally. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the personal relationship that is available to everybody through like Jesus. It's wild and it's very amazing. You know, and people don't talk about Jesus Christ because it's popular. They do it because it's works. You get a real result from it. And I've often kind of contemplated if it wasn't a way to psychologically tap into the superego by belief in Jesus. It's kind of a meta thing where you get to tap into your own superego. Or if that was even something that was possible, you know, if that was what was happening. When people do believe in a creator being, a monotheistic creator being in Jesus, who sent His Son Jesus. I'm just glad to be here, man. I'm so happy just to be alive right now. I shouldn't be here. I know that. Like my entire family knows that. For me just to be here and be alive is kind of an act of God in itself. To get to hold in your hand something that you wrote, it's wild, dude. It's crazy. These are my words in a compact, like, weight to it. That's the cover that I designed and the words I wrote, and you know, it's just nuts. Anyway, it's an awesome feeling, and this is Unplugged. This is an early copy of Light Through the Pines. This is another one of my books that I wrote. It's crazy. And then, this is the first thing I ever did. Naked Shadow Boxing. I've got 2 copies. For some reason. This is kind of, it's not the best. This is me cutting my teeth. Being an angsty teenager, but still, I mean, you can see where my later work would shine through and where it comes from. It's not terrible. It's decent. It's not the polished shit that I'm doing now. But it's it has its own. It's dripping with personality. It's dripping with potential that is then realized in Truth is Power. If you check out the stamp, that's the Monarch Literary stamp. My sister got me two kinds of personal library stamps. One's kind of a plastic Monarch Literary auto stamp, and then one's this cool little wooden thing. It's like this is Stephen Leake on it, from the library of Stephen Leake. And it's, you know, the thing costs $20. It's like made my day. I have so much fun with it. Stamping it in my library book, in my personal library. My sister knows me so well. I'm just like, seriously, I'm surrounded by such good people. It's mind blowing. Where I'm the asshole and the black sheep of my family, and I have like written novels and shit. That's how like how good of my family is. Anyway, I'm gonna stop bragging on them for a second. They're human beings and flawed like everybody else. But I love them to death, man. They're the best people. I'm truly blessed to be among them. And that's true of also not just my immediate family, but my high school friends. You know, the guys I wrestled with, the guys I ran cross country with, the guys I went to school with, and classmates. It was a very specific, special class, a specific place and time to be a part of. I could just say I was a part of it. I mean, it was just such great people. It makes me. It's why I'm in love with human beings, and I always have been. Because I've got to experience it firsthand. Truly heroic people. If you don't love humanity, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're missing out. Especially if you can play with a baby, be around a baby for any length of time, not come out of that one to defend man to the last. The only reason that war exists, in my opinion, is it's imposed upon us. There's kind of I would say almost satanic kind of seed of kind of inverted darkness and evil that comes out in humanity, but it's not native to us. I don't think it's a foreign thing that's imposed on us. I really do think that people are like genuinely almost innocent, and that you cannot deal with human beings without flooding yourself with compassion, and then that's the default you work out of. I forget who it was talks about that. Like, if you really saw your fellow man clearly, you wouldn't stop falling in love with them. These are just friends I went to school with, like my servers at my diner. I genuinely love these people. There's about anything I wouldn't do for them. I specifically never got married and never had kids, so I could just fight for them in the intellectual and political sphere, so they could have a champion in me. I'm very proud to do it. I feel honored to do it. It's a privilege. Anyway, let's play some music in a second. I'm gonna go take a leak. Naked Shadow Boxing. I'm gonna read some from that, but that's my first collection. And then Unplugged is my apprenticeship novel, one I wrote in high school. It's kind of a teenage fantasy, but still, you can see where I would later come out with a more coherent piece in Gethsemane. Be right back. It really is a legitimate privilege just to be alive right now and get to experience this time, this unprecedented period of history. It's terrifying. It's a clusterfuck for sure, but it's still beautiful. I'm glad to just be in the fight with these people, with y'all. Naked shadow boxing. I wrote these as a teenager, really, and in my early 20s. This is a good one to start. This font is called Hightower Text. I've never been able to find it since then. It's the most beautiful text I've ever got my hands on. The most beautiful typography, whatever you want to call it. Human. I mope down this same drag when the sunlight blinds and the skin boils, staggering blindly as a felon flees to sanctuary. This red house, the last bastion of pathos, hidden in waist-high weeds. A broken latch, the warmest welcome for shell-shocked survivors of this great iniquity. This predestined affliction, exacerbated by distant gunfire and elusive wealth. This beautiful red house, where life is a dream, and judgment itself condemned. A paradise for those who refuse heaven and fight for their minds without fear, stranded in a conscious purgatory, forgotten, as here we worship the gift of life, trampled on like old newspaper outside our nest. This red house fills our lungs with the breath of God, resurrected with every hit, free, alive, human. Bringing back memories here. Okay, this is called Helix. Watching the ceiling fan dance scales to full ensemble harpsichord baroque. Absinthe green bubbles rise in a spinning double helix. Flitting consciousness, open eyes in cold water. Smooth marble, black lace veil. We're all lured to this place by some inherent urge, needing more life to feed on, to satisfy our own. I walk through the living room. They're all piled on the furniture, half naked and wasted. The omnipotent sensation of bare skin and the quiet lust of smoke weakens my knees and seduces a battered mind, the pure beauty of visual intercourse. I'm in love with their eyes. We're hiding out in the catacombs. The low monk hum, an echoing draft, under starched Oxfords and girth. This is a good one. I was an emotional little kid. We the living. To pull so voraciously apart the threads of existence, this love, the testament thus far to the gift of life, and blaspheme with every breath for some comfort in destruction, some witty innuendo to dare God's stare, stands as a smug bastion of those who've never lived in death, as whimperings of a soul not yet reveled by substance. Could it never endure the pangs of those who've tread the fringe? Imagine a life with no obsession, listless and bitter as those left behind. We can live yet not die in the arms of their widows, not afraid, not humbled, but indifferent. We the living have no tangible memento to ease the crescendo of want, only waiting with promises of cordial grace of that ending face, shining kindly still, with no ethereal receipt. The promise, a synergy of that energy we call the soul, so brazen beyond fear, so exponentially vivacious, transcendent of all. There is no end to that which never began, but has remained a singularity over the ages. No explosion of passion or warm ember of dying hearts knows of such a kingdom in which we live. We too refuse heaven for a kingdom of our own, beyond judgment, of light blinding white as supernovas blossom at our feet, now and then, forevermore, as it has always been, this cosmic vibration, this love recycled ad infinitum, a tyrant no doubt, and the weakness to bend, to cower in awe of the gift of choice, until the expanse of questions renders you senile, and the sanctity of truth dries your lust. We the living can do only that, and will continue together. It's some emo stuff right there, man. It's from like 2007. It's a completely different style, but it's a good thing. You're supposed to develop. Your early stuff is not supposed to sound like your late stuff or your mid stuff. That's how you develop as an artist. You're supposed to continuously work on your stuff. Anyway, let's play some music. We're at an hour. American Gangster. Let's do that. This is my musings and my practicing guitar. If you enjoy watching me, check out Morning Jams on the Porch. You might like my podcast. I've got tons of output that you could dig through. Please be my guest, man. I created for people to enjoy, to think about, to make you think, to maybe learn something. I don't know. I've spent a lot of time. What is unique about my experience is I've had the time to develop specific knowledge bases, to study specific things, and I've had the time to get to know myself, to develop as an artist, to do what I've wanted to do with my life. That's not a normal thing. Most people today are too busy making a living and not starving to death. In this rat race we live in, to be able to do anything like that. But it was a very conscious decision on my part to take time, to develop slowly and surely, and I'm not really formally educated beyond a high school diploma and 1 year of creative writing workshops, but that was done intentionally. I felt like being an autodidact, self-taught, if you will, was more important. It was where I needed to go, when it was what I needed to focus on for what I specifically wanted to do with my life, which was be an artist. It's not something that you can just take a class for and be shat out into the world fully formed. It's a constant development and a constant learning and constant improvement. If what I did, I put 10 years in, a full decade, just living at home, not with no life, doing nothing but writing. If you're willing to do that, then you can also be decent. There's no guarantee of anything though. You could waste 10 years of your life and not ever get better, and and then just be 10 years later and you're writing shitty poetry still. So it's always going to be a gamble, no matter what you do. There's no guarantee you'll get better. You have to do it a certain way, and then and work hard and be lucky. Anyway. Terribly out of tune. I'm sorry. We need to tune that right now. I don't know how it got so out of whack. I just tuned it yesterday. I'm terribly like not good at tuning stuff. I have to have the app on my phone and do it that way. Oh shit. I just got a bunch of texts from something, I don't know what the hell that is. Okay. One second. Okay, I get to my tuning app. There's a fan texting me. I give my numbers out. I don't have family. I don't have kids. That's what I mean. I'd rather be talking to somebody that about music and like crypto and cool shit. That's what makes me happy. And I don't really like to call them fans, more like clients and customers. 40-year-old man shouldn't have fans, for God's sake. And I've got my good luck hat, my hold fast, faith, family, freedom. My mantra for today. It's shit, it's only 1:30. I thought it'd be like 4 in the morning by now. Okay, come on. Come on out. There we go. Good Lord, that's way the hell out of tune. I didn't know we got that bad. No wonder, good Lord. Go, nice. Okay, we're there. Okay. Let me start over anyway. Let's go back to spring. That's why I turned it off. Okay. Hell, I forget, like, tuning is a thing and play the whole thing shitty. Not even realize it until it's too late. American Gangster. prosperity for all Americans. We keep the faith. Keep on pushing. This is the last stand on earth for freedom for the individual. It's our birthright to be free and safe. Keep what we earn. Speak our minds. Come back to that. My arm's too tired. Sorry about that. Jesus. Let's light some incense, man. Maybe that's what's wrong. Maybe that's why I'm in a fucking everything up. Start off right. We angered the gods, apparently. I've been putting together a manual. I love putting together like how-to, like DIY how-to stuff. It's really for me. It's for like helping me in my career. But I'm also gonna put it out on my website, steveleake.com, on my PDF viewer. It's basically a how-to indie rocker from like songwriting, stagecraft, touring, the business side of it, songwriting, like I said, the whole shebang, recording, home recording, setting up a recording studio in your home, the equipment, the different kinds of equipment, what to use for this, all kind of shit. And I've got worksheets on it and like tables, and it's a full kind of like asset for a rocker. Anybody can just go download it if they want. I just ask if you do use some of my stuff and you have it spare, throw me a buck. Throw me a buck or two. I always say it that way. We live in truly interesting times. You know, it's such that any jackass can make his own app, basically. If you have any kind of common sense or even work ethic, it's just open green field for damn near anything. You know, it's such opportunity just dripping everywhere. I just pick it off the ground and it's yours. It's such that like I've come up with so many different new concepts and different ideas for projects and businesses. I've just listed a bunch on my website just that somebody else can just come take and have to just do with whatever they can make of it. Because I don't have enough time in one lifetime to do all this stuff, to do justice to the projects I've come up with. So if you can do something with it, more power to you, man. You can come have it. Close that lid and get some smoke between you and me. Create a little ambiance. My guitar's name is Sophia. I named her that because that's the name of the wisdom principle. Some people call it that. It comes from Gnostic Christianity, the early 1st and 2nd century. where they believe in something called the demiurge, where it's like where the demiurge was like the demiurge was like it's kind of like the Matrix, fallen Earth, fallen state of the world, where it was like the system, the Matrix, the reality. It was kind of itself a kind of fallen god. It was kind of a malevolent trickster god, and that was the kind of Christian devil, and it says several times in the Bible that Satan is the god of this world. He's the ruler of this earth, and it's become very obvious, I think, if you pay attention to just politics, the world current events of going on today. It's very obvious that's the case. It becomes very clear this is kind of like inverted backwards reality, where what you grew up learning and taking at face value is actually, once you get down to it, the inverted opposite. It's like it's the government that are the terrorists, and like it's the like Americans who are the slaves, and it's just crazy and backwards and upside down. And you come to realize that's the way it's always been. I don't know. It can be very disheartening, but it also at the same time, we've got the internet, and none of these systems cannot survive the public exposure, no matter how censored but the internet provides. We will be entering into a brand new era of kind of unprecedented freedom, prosperity, but it's gonna be a year or two more of upheaval and chaos until it levels out and we get into that prosperity era. These are just things I study for fun, man. It's not like I don't have a degree, but it's becoming more clear to me is the more I interact with people that do have degrees. It's one thing to be kind of educated in a way of thinking or educated in a system. It's something else to have intelligence, something else to have a intellectual debate or a argument, and kind of it be a abstract, conceptualized kind of thing. Anyway, need to play that song before I pass out. I'm getting pretty tired. I think as the next few years come and go, we'll get better at solving these intractable problems, because our technology is going to mature a little bit faster, and you'll see a lot of things get solved that were previously unsolvable, and that become kind of the new norm. We'll be able to pull out magic out of our asses. Okay. Let's move on to a different song. One fine day, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm tired. I'm working like an animal. Not even the fun kind. The working kind. It's important, I think. We take time to talk to each other, and talk in an honest way about what it is we're facing, what it is that at least we're seeing, that I see. I'm always going to tell you my honest opinion. That's the only way that I know how to exist, really. Okay, one fine day. love you. I'll be out there doing my thing. And I'll come back to you one day. I didn't come all this way just to lose heart and quit. You keep me going. When all seems lost, I'll be with you. I spend the rest of my life with. And never after. We get to choose. When you hear this song, smile, you know I love you. I'll be out there doing my thing. I'll come back to you one day. That's a good one to end on. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. As always, it's a pleasure, man. And come hang out with me on Discord, for God's sake. That's where I go specifically to talk shit. After the show, after my live streams, after all that stuff, and I talk to just people about all kinds of cool stuff, man. It's just a good, cool place to hang out and swap stories, talk shit, and get to know people. So, if you don't mind, it's okay. You can come talk to me there. That's where I'll be. I love what I do, man. I wouldn't trade any of it for all the tea in China. The only reason I can do it is because people watch my stuff. So thank you so much for letting me do this. It means the world to me. And as long as you keep me in the fight, I'm going to fight for you. As long as you will have me, I'll keep doing this. So, have a good rest of your day, man, or night, whichever it is. We're going to win. We already have won, really. So, relax and enjoy the day. It's not all up to you. It's not all up to me. There is a God in this universe, and He cares about human beings. He sees our struggle, and He sees our pain. God is not blind to our suffering. But remember, this is only temporary. This place is not our home. We're passing through. And, just keep that in mind. Our reward is not necessarily of this world. And it's important to remember. Anyway, I appreciate it, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Stephen Leake. We're going to win.